can go ahead and sit down and see. All right. So this is our man training sheet.
Is it kind of like a preference assessment or like a reinforcer assessment?
It's similar to a reinforcement assessment, but what you do first is you kind of do a preference assessment to assess, all right, what's going to be motivating to teach this kiddo, right? Because realistically, that's how all mans work. They have to want it in order to request it. So yeah, you would do a preference assessment, whether it's casual or whether you do, you know, a really strategic one where you do the analysis. So you figure out the items that are going to be most likely that they're going to reach for, and then that's what you would use for this. So we've got water, ice cream, ball, marker, and Altoids. So ideally you would want to figure out what the sign is for all of these. Since I don't know what, we'll take out ice cream right now. And we'll just leave these because I think I know what these guys are. So this is, we'll do drink or drink. You can do either of those signs. Ball is this. Marker is like this. And then we'll do Altoids for eat. Yep. So then what you would do is, I'm just going to show the data sheet. We have our man training data sheet here. All right. You would write down all of the reinforcers at the bottom of the page. So for A, we would say drink, and then B, ball, C, marker, and D, eat. Okay, and then depending on the man training sheet, some of them can get really complex. This one's pretty complex, and that it's asking you to each time or each trial, the opportunity presents itself. A, you're going to circle what reinforcer they reach for, right? And then you're going to enter data, and you've got a minus, a P, and a plus. So here, there's two different levels of Manding, and Manding level 1, if student points or reaches for the item but does not use a word or sign to get it, you circle minus, right? So there was no verbal, no approximation used, there was nothing. That would be a straight minus. If the student said a part of the item's name to get it, or they did a sign to get the item, then that would be P. But it would have to be like that partial, like approximation. It wasn't like a perfect accurate, right? But if the student says the item's name or signs it wholly without my help or your help, then it would be a plus. So that would technically be like an independent response. Okay? So you've got negative for didn't do it at all. P was like, yeah, they partially did it, or they did it with a partial prompt, and plus was 100% independent. Okay? I believe man level 1 is when, and you can kind of read through here a little bit more because it breaks it down, but man level 1 is when all of the items are present, and that's when you're training. The second level is when you have those out of view, and it's more what we call like a natural man, right? So more typically what would happen in the environment. Like a kid's hungry and they want to say eat. It's not because they saw goldfish at snack and they're asking for eat. So this will be a level 1 mand. Okay. All right. So I've got my items written down, and then I'm also, if you say words, then I'm going to write them down too, so I have some anecdotal information because that could be useful, right, in talking with like the speech and language pathologist or the teacher and choosing programs that we might want to really isolate out or do those sorts of things. All right. So. As part of an antecedent to the trial, and obviously I'm going to have all of my things out on the table ready to go. I'm going to have done my preference assessment. I've got my sheet here ready, and I'm going to make sure that you're ready. You're not scrambling around on the floor. All right, you ready? Okay, so I'm going to put out all of these items. And then I'm just going to kind of like show them to you, maybe the ball or water. I might even let you play with some items just so that you kind of get into them a little bit, right? I'm going to say, okay, my turn. drink, and that was awesome. So that was what kind of a response? Which I circle?
A plus.
Perfect. A plus, and then for the reinforcer letter,
A, B, E.
A.
Okay, because you wrote it there. A. Yep.
Yep. So I would circle A for drink, and you didn't say any spoken words, so I'm just gonna put a line through it. But that was perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, if I just said like, "wha," it would be
good. So what I would have to do is I would have to implement the consequence, right, or my error correction procedure for that. So the desired item is in view but out of reach. You man for item, you say any part of the item name, that's your response. And then here it says consequence. I give you vocal model, I name the item, and then give you immediate access to it. Okay, so I would do the error correction procedure. Say it was, you said what, I'd be like water.
Okay.
Hopefully you would respond by, imitating me or echoing me, and then I would give you the water. Good, that is water. Okay, ready for round 2? And then I might switch this up. Just because hopefully I can get you to reach for a variety of different things, not just one over and over again. Ball, good, ball. All right. So I wasn't quick enough. Ideally, I would take it away before you touched it.
Okay.
But still, it works, right? So you take it away, you wait for them to ask for it.
Yep.
And I gave you a little bit of a pause, but if you didn't say it by yourself, I would have prompted you to do the ball. So what would I do here for data?
It's a minus.
No,
Since I touched it?
It was a plus, right?
Oh, okay.
Because it's not your fault that I didn't take it away soon enough.
Okay. So then plus, but then no spoken words.
Plus, yep, no spoken words, because you said the...
it was B.
And B is for ball.
Okay. So even if it's kind of like prompted, not really prompted, but...
Yeah, because it's not prompted, right?
Okay.
I didn't have to repeat anything. I didn't have to give you a partial prompt. I didn't do any, like, pieces of science to get you to do it.
Marker.
Awesome! Nice job. You can have the marker. Rock star. All right. So that was above and beyond. Holy cannoli. Probably would have fallen out of my chair. It just says marker. I'm well done here. Going home.
So
Mic drop. C.
Plus, and then marker.
Perfect. All right. Now make me do an error correction procedure. Water. Water. Good water. Okay. So now what would I do?
That one's a minus.
Correct.
And then it's A.
A for, and I should have said drink, right, instead of water, because that's really what that sign is.
And then nothing. No spoken words.
Good. So you think you got the hang of it. Let's do another error correction procedure just so I can model it for you. Ball. Ball. Good. Okay. So what would I do now?
So it's another minus.
Yep.
And then C. Right? So you sort of
Close. B.
Oh, ball.
So what happens if over and over and over again, like maybe you're super hungry because you didn't eat lunch yet, and that's all you're picking is the food to eat? What would you do in that case?
Would you probably make them like satiated object?
You could, yeah. So you could like feed them snack and come back to it at another time. Good. But what else could you do?
Take it out and add something else?
Exactly. Just take it off the table, right? If you're repeatedly asking for a drink because you're super thirsty, I'm going to say, okay, you know what, drink is no longer available.
The other thing.
Yeah. You know, maybe I'll add something else. We'll put a pen in there too. Yeah. And then that way you hopefully get them to choose a variety of stuff. Awesome. Okay, good. Do you want to switch? Do you want to try it?
Yeah. Okay. You want to play with this? Okay, my turn. Which one? Good job. You want the ball.
Awesome.
Okay, and then it's B ball.
Mm-hmm.
You still got it because you did it on your own technically. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then nothing there. No. Look, ball. So we still give it to you even though like you went for it. We just prompt it, then give it to you.
Mm-hmm. Because it's going to get really frustrating for them, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids aren't going to have those independent responses. Mm-hmm. So it's like, as long as they let you, you know, do that physical prompting.
But it was still a minus because I prompted it.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one?
E.
Eat.
Eat.
Good job. You get to eat.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's the P. Because you...
Yep, it was a partial prompt.
Yep.
And then...
D. And then, so we would... Do we write that you said E?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, you just put like quote-unquote E.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So why is this so beneficial? Why is a man training program so important?
I mean, it's going to get kids to be able to request things on their own. I guess that's the end goal.
Right. And that's super important because...
It's, I mean, functional communication training, you're kind of, instead of like exhibiting problem behaviors, they'll eventually just be able to ask for something.
Right. Yeah. It's such a, what we call a pivotal behavior, right? And what's the pivotal behavior? This is going to your staff midterms.
I mean, one we just need to be able to function.
Yep, close. It's a pretty important one, right? A pivotal behavior. So think of it like like a pivot point, right? So if you've got like that ball, and then this is the pivot point, and then you learn one behavior here, and then another one over here. So as soon as they learn that pivot behavior, it opens up the access to reinforcement in a variety of other areas, right? So it's just such a crucial thing because as soon as they learn to be able to use language, then like you said, right, it decreases problem behaviors. Then we can also start working on social connections. We can start using that in some of our programming. So it really it opens up the opportunity for them to make a lot of gains.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome job. What's the rest of your summer look like?
Not much, just my whole cases and just, my uncle from Germany's coming.
Oh, cool.
A couple weeks.
Those totally just slid off the table faster than I thought they were going to. Pretty slick. Where does he live in